Yes, the Department of State is bankrupt. It has been for a while. What it's been doing is it's been bilking other departments in order to cover its ass. And it was aided and abetted by the current president in 2018 when he did that little shit where he had that executive proclamation was only up for a while. Nobody said anything about it. And you already fucking know that at some point, very close to now, that we were already supposed to be involved in some sort of relationship renegotiation with some foreign interest. And nobody wanted to call it out like that. What do you think you're going to do if you already know there is meant to be an asset transfer? And you decide to make it as cheap and as scuzzy and disgusting as possible. And not only that, you're not just calling it cheap and scuzzy and disgusting because it's actually cheap and scuzzy and disgusting. It's because you guys got so much crime going on in the background that you want people to be deceived by thinking, shit, now we got to figure out how we're going to clean up all this trash. Right? I mean, this is the Department of State we're actually dealing with. And I'm really tired of this crap, this Dallas-Detroit crap. Because you guys laundered that shit through Chicago to get my ass down here. And I'm really tired of it. You screwed my entire fucking Chicago for fucking what? What did you get out of it? You screwed, and not only did you screw me, you screwed everybody with whom I used to be fucking associated. What did you fucking get out of it? Because, let me tell you something, I'm pretty sure that he smooth talks you all the fucking time. And does that, like, very nicely attenuated, low-level chastisement with the secret embedded psyop. And the little implant that ends up coming due later down the line. By that time, he's already got your kids' junk all fucking hooked up to some goddamn electronic equipment you don't want anything to deal with, but you can't really say anything about it, and your little kid's fucking addictive, and you take the fucking phone away, they start yelling and screaming, so after a certain amount of time, you just let them keep the phone. So let's deal with this on the level it's at. Why are people homeless? If people are homeless, why are they homeless? Besides maybe trying to avoid getting a bullet in the head because they called out somebody who was involved in high-level racketeering up to and including trafficking biological, radiological, and chemical weapons, right? And not everybody's on the street because of that. A lot of people are on the street because somebody tried to get them to traffic biological, chemical, or radiological weapons in one manner or another, right? What would they have been doing if somebody wasn't allowed to get away with trying to force them to traffic chemical, biological, radiological weapons? Is there anything that's happened maybe in the last, I don't know, just 2 years that might have had a precedent for how we could have done something about the material conditions to address that appropriately? Yes, there was. And you already know. I have right here a folder I still haven't been able to get through. You guys wanted to play this fucking game where you wanted me to, like, jump in Trump's pants and pretend like I was him. And my whole thing is, like, you guys did this the whole fucking wrong way. Because what you ended up getting is you ended up getting a bust down for the fucking material conditions of the rollout of COVID-19. What did he do this past summer? Nobody said shit about it. It was a little Delphi scam. You all knew what that was about. There's no fucking... Let me tell you something. Your business manager in your fucking union knew what it was about. Your investment manager in your municipal financial portfolio fund knew what it was about. Your representatives, all of them, they knew what the fuck it was about. And your old boys at the corporations are trying to get you to agree to hustle a job as a delivery driver. Maybe you get the mailroom. Maybe you even got entry-level clerk after you fuck somebody else over. They all know what it's about. It was never supposed to be. But in order to get to that, we're going to have to go all the way back to a former governorship. I have right here, you see this? What's it say? What's it say? Case is in quotation marks because this actually goes back to the 80s. There was a commission that was set up regarding video game violence. Among the things it focused on was a video game called Grand Theft Auto. Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember? The understanding is it was a video game where somebody pretended they stole a car. And then when they stole a car, they drove around and they did a bunch of things, including picking up hookers. My understanding is not only could you pick up hookers, but if the bitch was bad, you could beat her. You could pick up drugs. You might even be able to do the drugs while you're driving around with a hooker in the car. And so people got offended And there was some consternation about whether or not these video games, these violent video games, might have an impact on increase in crime. Now, a bunch of people tried to make First Amendment arguments about it. And in the course of making First Amendment arguments, there was a lot of strong-arming. There were other changes that were going on regarding commercial access to bandwidth. And there were other changes that were going on around the outroll of the digital economy. Part of this was something called econometrics. Anybody remember? You can find it. I only have access to the second edition of what that bank put out. You know that? It's a very important time, but that second edition was based on the first edition. You know? When you're doing a video game like that, what kind of data can you get? What kind of numbers can you compile? Huh? A lot of hand-eye coordination. All right, that's what they say it's about. Hand-eye coordination, being able to maybe even multitask. What else can you do? Huh? Virtual reality. Simulating another experience. See, if you're somebody that has a law enforcement mentality, it might be the kind of thing where you're thinking about getting inside the mind of a criminal, trying to identify how they operate, maybe kind of see what they see so that you can troubleshoot. We don't talk about troubleshooting anymore. We talk about troubled assets. Right? So in order for us to really get to this other folder here, we're going to have to get to this. And we've already gotten to it in a lot of ways, haven't we? So what I have here, what do I have here? I haven't looked at it for a period of time. Well, one of the things I have in here is a list of evidence. I got a list of evidence right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then I have another thing. Then I have another thing. Then I have this. Well. I see. So in terms of the evidence, I have all the evidence. Where's the case law? I had the case law in here the last time I looked at it. Where do you think that case law went? Really? It's okay. You know what? Right off the top of my head, I remember the first 4 cases. And that's why we're going to have to go deal with that Chicago problem. The one where presumably the guy who's got the Serbian father who used to be a plumber ended up getting dumped with a really, really, really toxic feed. Was that hallucinogens? Because I thought it was meth. That they were telemedicating him with meth to make him sound like a total fucking asshole while somebody was driving around some vehicles they shouldn't have had access to. Right? I mean, another governor got busted for that very fucking thing. Letting people have access to vehicles they were not actually legally allowed to even have licenses to get. Yeah, and now we're not talking about Mexicans that are of the age where they can qualify for a CDL, right? We got them under 6 fucking team when they're just getting their driver's permit. Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a big problem, right? It's a big problem. Don't worry, I'm going to find my case law. I want to thank you so much for reminding me about my fucking priorities so I can get that shit in the folder it needs to go in before fucking midnight. And that's your Detroit!